Look who's roosting on the house. Man shrew. Naughty boy. See, his tree. It's covered in leaves, so this time of year it's very leafy and he can't sit where he usually sits over here. So he's up there. There was a lovely sunset tonight actually. And I've just baked some chocolate muffins, so I'm gonna go and eat them. Even though it's like 10:30. So, as you can see, I'm back working on these wretched shutters after a bit of a hiatus, getting distracted by the fireplace. But the very first video I made when I began the renovations of my room, I filmed stripping my shutters of paint. And obviously I've been sanding them these last few afternoons. I've not yet done this top part. I'm going to do that today. It's been horrible trying to get all the little bits of paint out of every little crook and granny. It's just been horrific. I hate this job. Well, I wouldn't say horrific, it's just I've not enjoyed it. But anyway, there were loads and loads of comments of everyone and their mothers saying that I should leave the wood bare and not paint it. But I'm very sorry to disappoint everyone, but I will be painting it. And I've got a few reasons for that. I am going to explain myself and explain the reasons why I'm doing that. So there are a few comments from people saying that originally it wouldn't have been painted, which is not true. This is what's called pitch pine, and you wouldn't have been seen dead with bare pitch pine in your home. Apart from maybe like a worktop, a kitchen tabletop. So doors, if they were pitch pine, they were either painted, stained, or shellacked to make it look like they were more expensive wood, like oak, or they were painted. So pitch pine was never left exposed, so I just want to make that clear. Nobody living in this house would have seen these shutters without any paint on. Another reason why I'm going to be painting them is that there's still paint stuck in the little, all the little gaps. That's why it's been so difficult to strip, because in all the little gaps there's still paint stuck. And I have singed this wood. If you watched the first video, as I mentioned, I used a heat gun to strip the paint off and singed. So there's loads of, you can see there's loads of singe marks all over the wood now as well. I was never planning on leaving them bare. I was always going to paint them as they would have been originally. Also, I would prefer them painted. I want to paint them a light colour. Originally, they would have been painted this colour. So they basically, we paint a lot more opaque nowadays, but then on woodwork, they would just put a thin wash over the wood. And you can kind of almost see the grain behind, really faintly, behind this green wash they've put on. I don't even know what it's made out of. But yeah, the shutters were green. They were this kind of light green colour. All of this was green. But I don't want to do it green. I want to do it a light colour. I think the light colour, an old white, will make the window appear bigger and more light. It is a little bit of like a modern misconception that like old stone houses, the walls inside were just bare stone, and in old houses all the woodwork was left bare, but it's not true. I think the whole, like nowadays, I think it's more of just like a fashion thing. It's like a modern interpretation of what people think an old house or an old cottage should look like. Because people will buy, it's very like common for people to buy an old like stone house and take the plaster off the walls and like have bare stone walls. But originally that would just never happen. People had plaster on their walls. They had lime plaster. I was talking to Mum, and Mum said it was like a big thing in like the 70s and 80s to like take painted furniture and just like strip it. And I think it's still quite popular now as well. People's like stripping old woodwork. But unless it's like oak or like mahogany, old pine was covered up because it was just like cheap. Anyway, I'm blabbing on a lot. As soon as I start talking, I just can't stop. I get distracted and I'll start talking about something completely different eventually if I didn't like try and stop myself. But yeah, basically I'm gonna start sanding the rest of this, and I think I'm gonna have to wipe it down because you can see that it's all dusty. It's still got, there's dust all of this room. But yeah, the pitch pine has like a particular smell as well, and it's quite nice. I like exposed wood as well. I just, in this case, and on these particular shutters, I'm going to be painting it. If in the future, when I'm long gone, someone wants to come and strip it, you know, have it bare, I suppose that's up to them. But I'm also going to be treating the wood as well. I ordered some, it's like wood preservative. It's like stops like woodworm and like rot, like dry rot, wet rot. Not that it's damp in this room at all. Yeah, but I just want to make sure it's protected for another 200 years, you know? So I'm going to put a coat of that on and like put primer on. I'm going to do it properly, put a proper primer on, and then a top coat. So it's going to look really, well, I hope it's going to look really good. I'm hoping this effort, getting all the little bits of paint out, I want it to look crisp and clean and like somebody's put, you know, it's been loved again. I want it to look like it's been loved and cared for and maintained properly. And I don't feel like it has for a long time. It's not really been appreciated. So I'm sorry for those who are going to be disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's my bedroom. And I'm going to do what pleases me in my own bedroom. Yeah, and that's more towards people who are being rude about it as well. I've had some rude comments, people being sarcastic and a bit mean as well, about my bedroom and my choices, like the paint. Loads of people saying, this is going to be too dark. But the thing is, this room is quite a dark room already. So, again, coming back to old houses and Georgian houses, dark green paint, dark blue paint on walls was all the rage back then. And I really like that dark, cozy, old-fashioned. I want it to look like a little old, with a bit of a modern twist as well. It's not going to be like living in the Georgian era. It's going to have a few modern things in it. You might not understand my choice, but I can see it really well in my head. And it looks good in my head. working on my room much of the day today. And it's quite late now, but I wanted to share this beautiful evening with you. The bats are, although you can't really see on here, flying. They go round and round the house. And the moon is huge. Although on my phone it doesn't really show up very well. And the fairies are back. By fairies I mean moths again. It's too dark on my camera for you to see them. But these beautiful little white moths, like little fairies, that dance above the grass. They're amazing. And I looked them up last year, but I've forgotten what they're called. But they are apparently scarce nowadays. Because meadows like this are scarce. Don't know if... yeah. There you go. See them dancing? So many of them. They're not scarce here, so it's great to see. The house looking very nice in the twilight as well. Still need a replacement chimney though, mind. That one's just snapped. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share this absolutely gorgeous night with you amongst the fairies.